stinking mess, to be honest with you, and somebody needs to take a hold of it and be responsible for it.
I think it's very serious. I think, again, if there are, if there have been breaches of the rules, the law around nominations, then I think Mr. Ford has to answer for those.
That was strong reaction to this week's big news regarding Ontario PC leader Doug Ford. On Thursday, the Ontario Liberals released a recording they allege says that Ford is trying to sell bogus party memberships to help his preferred candidate secure the nomination. They further allege the actions could be a breach of Ontario election financing laws. Here's some of that recording with the parts emphasized in red added by the Liberal Party.
My phone number is running, yeah. But it doesn't cost anything, we're just signing people up today. That's it, I'm going to introduce you to this.
I was wondering whether you'd like to fill out a membership form for the Republican Party? Yeah, so that we're having a nomination.
You don't have to fill it out, she'll put your name, number, just sign it.
Yeah.
If you're interested, sir, we'll do it for you. Yeah.
Actually, I'll grab one form and you can do it.
This is a membership for the PC party?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't support the PC party.
No, then you can support the person.
Yeah.
Oh, the person.
You don't have to vote.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is just allows you to get Kingy in there.
Yeah.
And if you need help, you call her.
Yeah.
All right.
Susan, I want to start with you. How damaging are those tapes?
It's really hard to say, Hannah. It's certainly not good news for the Ford campaign, but whether it's a fatal blow or not, I don't know. Listening to that, I was thinking maybe I'm too cynical. I'm probably too cynical. I thought, Ford had the misfortune of being caught. I think this kind of thing goes on quite a lot, probably in a lot of parties. It's not universal practice, but that was my sense, that he just had the misfortune of being recorded.
Yeah, John, he didn't deny that he actually did that. And for his part, Ford says this is an old issue. It's already been dealt with. Is that good enough?
Well, not politically it isn't, because he's completely off message. The plan was for the Conservatives to run a campaign that accused the Liberals of political corruption, of hanky-panky, of being old and long in the tooth and arrogant and abusive. Instead, two things have happened. First of all, Doug Ford has been accused of hanky-panky, which undermines the message that he was hoping to be able to give against the Liberals. And second, the Liberals aren't his enemy. The NDP have risen in the polls and are now essentially tied with the Liberals across the province. So he has to completely retool the strategy for the party in the last 2 weeks of the campaign, and not talk about what he is being forced to talk about, which is whether he was doing a bit of finagling to get a nomination himself.
Now, we heard about these crazy nominations throughout the campaign. Problematic candidates. He has blamed Patrick Brown, saying, look, this was his problem. But he also, now it's pointing directly at him. So I want to play a clip of him after that audio was released on Thursday. Take a listen.
This happened close to 2 years ago. It went through an appeals process. The appeal was totally dismissed. We're going to be focused on creating jobs. This is the Liberals 2 weeks before an election trying to change the channel on their mismanagement, scandal, and waste.
So, Vicky, he blames Patrick Brown. He blames the Liberals. Is this a part of the reason that we've started to see the Conservatives, progressive Conservatives in Ontario slip in the polls?
I think it speaks to an element of frustration, which is that the party thought they were voting for a new voice and a new style. And what they're getting is the same sort of unwillingness to take responsibility that has, plagued and marked the Liberals in the province, which is to say that, an issue comes up and they don't step up to say, we screwed up, we made an error. And that's what Doug Ford is saying, which is, it's not his fault, it's someone else's fault. There was an appeals process, nothing went wrong. When clearly there's something, if not a little bit tainted, definitely questionable, and he should own up for being the leader of this particular party and say whether it was them a while ago or them now, he's still responsible and he's going to do his best to clear it up. And so I think they've slipped partially because voters wanted a new voice and they're getting sort of the same type of politics.